Hello everyone and welcome back to the Keep Productive YouTube channel. On today's feature, I'm going to show you around my Google Drive account. I'm going to show you how I use it, why I go with the application, and how I go about organizing. So in today's video, we're touring my Google Drive 2019. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in for this video. A big thank you this month to July 2019 sponsor, and that's Monday.com. Now, Monday.com is an intuitive team management platform created to fit any team and manage anything. So why do teams actually really enjoy using Monday.com? Well, Monday.com is easy to use and get set up, and you can pick from hundreds of ready-made templates or build workflows from scratch. And the platform is so customizable, it's perfect for absolutely whatever industry or situation you need it for. Now, an amazing 70,000 teams use Monday.com, from the likes of Discovery Channel to WeWork. And you can use it whether you're just a two-person team or a large-scale organization. Now, if you want to learn how Monday.com works, you can check out the walkthrough we made in the description, and it should pop up as a card. But you can also get 10% off Monday.com. So you can check out the link in the description to get the 10% off. So big thanks to Monday.com, and let's dive into Google Drive. So here we are with my Google Drive, and I actually just spent a bit of time, I'll be honest with you guys. I initially filmed me organizing or reorganizing my Google Drive, but then I was like, okay, this is completely useless. I just spent a bit of time reorganizing it, and the main reason is because it's gotten messy. So what you're seeing now is actually a reshuffled version of what I just mentioned. So again, it's not looking pristine. I actually hadn't cleaned it for about 9 months, but the premise of it was there. So let me explain what I have and how I use it. So I use Google Drive as a way to upload large files, mainly create documents that I want to share, because a lot of people are pretty comfortable with sharing a Google Drive document, like being able to go in the top right hand corner and share it and actually being able to annotate. And I use it so much that I'm actually on their Google One storage plan of over 250 gig. So I'm using only 12% of the 2 terabyte plan I pay for. I think that's $79.99 per year. But it's definitely $79.99 that I'm pretty happy with. And the main reason is because I store such large files sometimes, like, for example, this video of David Pierce, his leg, well, no, him actually using Notion. Again, a large file that I wanted to be able to share and keep backed up. So I actually use it mainly for those 2 core reasons, large files and being able to create documents. So for example, these are 2 great examples actually. So here I've got a like a guest post that I wrote, and I shared that with the team, and they were really easy to be able to share it with, obviously being able to create editing access and being able to modify stuff there. The same sort of goes with the sharing of large files. Like, you can actually play this, open it with, so you can see David Pierce using it there. You can be able to, like, obviously connect it with other applications and download it. So I'm using this as a sort of storage unit. It obviously does images and all that sort of jazz if you don't know yet. Now, I have been using Google Drive since roughly 2010, which is mad. I sort of scanned across this one the other day, because this was like in 2012, I made this like tutor service in school, and it was quite funny, like education station. But I've been using it for like absolutely donkeys, and I swear, like, I actually was one of the first people at the university to be using it, and I was so annoyed that other people weren't using it, because, like, for example, in university, when you're working on a project with other students and they are using Word documents and sharing Word documents and bringing together this Word, it made me sort of go, why aren't we doing it on Google Drive? So actually, back in the day, it was quite useful, a really useful experience. So you're probably wondering how I go about organizing and what is inside these different folders. So I have 4 main folders. I use a methodology called PARA, PARA method. It stands for Projects, Areas, Resources, and Archives. So I've got 4 main folders. Projects is anything between 1 to 12 months long. Areas is anything between 12 months and 3 years. Resources are static, so they stay the same. And archive is really like a core experience in terms of like being able to have the projects and areas when they come to die, it goes inside of archives. So you can see here down in the bottom right hand corner that I was created it back in 2013. So I've been using the methodology at least since my first year of university. I think I probably used a method behind it before, but I've been using it now solidly for 6 years, and I've always been impressed by it. I think I was using it on Evernote before that, and it made sense to add it to Google Drive just because of the way that it sort of structured everything. So thank you to Tiago Forte who developed that method. I'll include his article on that below. It's definitely a method I'd check out. So you can see here that my main projects in the moment is just freelance, and that stores mainly the files that I would just have like in terms of client projects. So if I click in, I've only got really 2 projects here at the moment. The main area where I keep everything is areas, because sort of everything's been, so Keep Productive is now like at least going to be more than 12 months long. So I mainly store inside of here like administration, which is company information, Notion Made Simple, which is the course. So inside of the course we have image assets, files, but what we mainly have is like a course summary and all of the files, like the recordings, the original recordings of like all of the Camtasia recordings, which is really handy. So coming out of this, I have Travel One, which is used for like storing travel information, and that's normally like bigger stuff that I'll include outside of Evernote, for example. And I share one with my wife, although she doesn't use it as much. We created it back in 2016. So I've been using it for 3 years or so, but it actually just stores like, so if I go into it, it stores like our house information, mortgage, finance, career, a blog that we created at one time, events and activities, memories, bank statements, like innocent. No, that's like a video she did for university and university stuff. So it's actually just been sort of like a place for us to store all of that useful stuff over time. So that's mainly what I keep in areas. Again, anything between sort of a year and 3 years is where it goes. And here you can see I've still not organized this area, but this is resources. So I can see my CV, my MacBook transfer that I did when I moved to a new laptop, NatWest, a few other projects. Actually, I'm going to move this phase expander because I gave some advice to a chap who ran Phase Expander, which is a Windows app for templates. And I gave it at some event, so that's technically under freelancing. And you can start to see like tax stuff, boring tax stuff in resources. So this isn't as organized as I thought it would be, but again, at least it's near enough. Now, archive is pretty explanatory. Literally all of the previous projects I worked on, like freelancing back in the day when I started, sort of like old ideas and creation. I love this folder because I found that education station one there. Let's see what awful ideas I had when I was young, because that's just see. So, 2014. Okay, so I had an idea called Hired. That's a little bit smart. And it's probably been created now. Download the app, create a profile, upload CV and cover letter, merge with LinkedIn account, begin job search. That really does sound very generic. Again, I just used to try and write down ideas. Let's see if there's any more awful ones. Actually, no, this is one that me and my flatmate came up with during our university times. The Behance for ad ideas. Overt is a platform allowing people to express their marketing campaigns for other companies. So that was quite a good idea, actually. I probably shouldn't share that. But again, anyway. But obviously, like, I've got old ideas here. And I can actually, oh my goodness, I've got poetry. This is going to be cringe. Yeah, I probably shouldn't read them out because that would be embarrassing. But you get the idea. It's old stuff. Like, everything here is being gone through the sort of age of time and sort of landed here. But it's been a really good sort of opportunity to actually see stuff. So, I can go back at any time and find the relevant folders. So one thing I'd say here is if I go to my drive, I use the search so much. I find the search so powerful. If you've got the drop down here, you can search any specific like audios and videos and stuff like that. So guys, that was my Google Drive account. I use it pretty routinely. I know a lot of people will be asking questions how it compares to my Evernote use. So what I would say is my Google Drive is for creating documents and large files, whereas my Evernote is for easy to access documents that I need on the go. And that can be anything from travel information to electoral information, stuff that I need pretty fast if I'm actually in a situation and I can send on to someone. Whereas my Google Drive is more of a static desktop experience. I don't use any of the desktop plugins, but it's really a handy experience. Now, a lot of people ask me why I didn't use Dropbox. I believe it was because in the early days it had a lot lower storage amounts and I couldn't go ahead and create Google Docs, and I was pretty happy with that. So that was my sort of killer experience and feature that really drove me away from using Dropbox. But again, I recommend both of those applications. Dropbox and Google Drive are both really reliable cloud storage. Anyway, guys, a big thank you for stopping by today. Make sure to have a great week. Keep productive, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Cheers, everyone.